You're looking at the best there
Austin
is.
316.
What do you guys want to talk about?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
You will rest in peace.
Welcome back, guys, for episode 9 of the Source WWE AEW All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
And
Mike. Yeah,
yeah,
let us talk to you.
let us talk
Today, on today's show, episode 9, we are covering WWE RAW from 2/19/2024.
Yeah.
We're covering NXT from 2/20/2024. And also, to finish the show, we're going to be covering AEW Dynamite 2/21/2024.
Yeah.
Get ready and let us talk to you, because we're starting with Monday Night Raw.
First on the docket, we got Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre.
The American Nightmare.
It's
versus
a back and forth match, you know what I mean? It's a Drew McIntyre's got the strength, he's making the power moves. Cody Rhodes is being more clever, you know what I mean? Doing his little like drop down, poke him in the eye, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep, all that vintage Road stuff. Love it. Love to see it.
Actually, Drew got a Future Shock DDT on him that was pretty nice, but Cody got the kick out on that.
Yeah. Good thing it didn't injure him like an injured Punk.
Yeah.
That
Drew
was the move.
Was dominating at times.
He was, and it's believable because it's Drew McIntyre, even though Cody had not suffered a loss, before this. But it's looking like Cody's got him right where he wants him.
My favorite part of the match: Drew to the top rope. Cody disrupts, suplex off the top rope. Cody cutter off the 2 ropes. So he did the jump off the 1 rope. He hit the 1 rope, then went to the higher rope, then did the Cody cutter.
Yeah, super sick.
But it was Jimmy Uso interfering, and then a solo he pretty much brushed off Jimmy, and you thought maybe
he did.
Got
we thought
Drew
he
back
had
into
it.
got him into position for the crossroads.
He was in crossroad position when Solo then showed up.
Solo with the ref
with
distracted with the Samoan spike. And Claymore kick ends it for the victory.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Drew McIntyre, his heel ability has just leveled up now because we all hate him even more after that one.
Next up, we fade into Andrade, and it's a great promo. He talks about his history, goes through the whole thing. You know, he says he controls his destiny.
He does.
You know, basically saying that, his time here has officially begun.
Right, he's not playing around anymore.
Yeah.
He's taking it serious. The whole Andrade El Idolo vibe is dope right now. I like it. I just hope they follow through and do the right thing with him. Don't let him get
short
lost.
And sweet, and I liked it. It got right to the point, and the summed up thing was that he's here, he's ready, here he comes. But then, they cut to a Cody promo after that.
Yes,
and there's Cody backstage.
He's in the training room, I believe.
Adam Pearce comes up, asks if he needs anything. He says he's fine. Enter Seth Rollins. Crowd pop. It's as soon as
big
he comes in, Seth Rollins, crowd pop. And then he comes over, walks over silently to Cody Rhodes. No words are exchanged.
No words. Just gives him that stare.
Pats him on the knee. And there's a silent, understanding that I have your back and we're going to have to fight this war together kind of thing, and
I was
excited
pumped for that.
To see how this goes.
Yeah, I was pumped for that.
We're on the road to WrestleMania, baby.
We are, man. The road to WrestleMania just keeps chugging along, and there was no words needed in that segment, to be honest.
Absolutely not. The next match was the Last Chance Battle Royal.
Oh, yeah.
And this was between the women. So this was to see who was going to take that
final spot in the Elimination Chamber.
For the Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
And so much mystery behind it. The whole time I'm like, I hope Jade Cargill.
I know.
Spoiler, she's not in.
I don't
want to get anybody's hopes up.
Yeah, but like you said, though.
The door. But we did get a surprise. Out comes Raquel
Rodriguez.
Or as Triple H says, Raquel Gonzalez.
Yo. Oh, was it Gonzalez?
Yeah, he said Raquel Gonzalez during the press
terrible,
conference.
Dude. Triple H obviously had one too many on the plane
I
ride
guess,
over.
Yeah, maybe a couple cocktails on the ride. But he was unfazed. He didn't even correct it. He just went on with his life.
He literally did.
The crowd looked unfazed as well, so maybe they didn't even realize it either. But I did.
We sure did. On the Source Wrestling Podcast, we realized these things.
So in this match, we have Shayna Baszler,
Ooh.
Zoe Stark.
Yeah.
So interesting that they are kind of friends. And
right.
In this
How's that going to play out?
How's
Yeah,
that gonna play out?
for sure.
The big surprise: Raquel Rodriguez comes back, as we just said.
Yeah, that was dope.
Selena
man.
Vega and your favorite Chelsea Green.
Yeah, man. And I was really pulling for Chelsea Green. Not going to lie. Going to lay it all on the line. I wanted her to be the one, and it looked to be that way for a second. It really did.
And it was full chaos right from the start.
Oh, yeah, man.
Maxine Dupree was out first. She was the first
Which
one
is
to get
kind of to
eliminated
be
out of this
expected
match.
with her.
Valhalla was second.
No antlers.
Nope, no antlers.
No
That
antlers,
was
so
how
she
got
doesn't
thrown
win.
Out second. Zia Lee was third, and Isla Dawn was eliminated fourth. Raquel Rodriguez was dominating, and Tegan Knox was thrown out by Natalya, which is payback for Natalya. She finally got a little payback.
She didn't forget about that.
But that was from the last women's battle, the Royal Rumble actually.
Yes.
B-Fab was out next. Zelina Vega was out after her.
She stood a good fight.
Next out was Elektra Lopez. Next out over the top ropes was Candice LeRae.
Bye-bye.
Indy Hartwell over the top
There
ropes.
she goes.
Katana Chance was out next.
See you later.
Alba Fire was next to be eliminated.
Yeah.
Natalya was eliminated next.
Yeah.
Then Ivy Nile, who really she
was
lasted a
impressive.
long time. I didn't
She was
expect her
impressive,
to
dude.
last
She's
as
like a
long as
little
she did.
She's like a little bulldog out
Same
there.
with the next one, Mishin. But you got to realize
Surprising.
that during, Natalya being eliminated and Ivy Nile being eliminated and Mishin being eliminated,
Yeah.
it was actually Baszler and Zoe Stark that were dominating and bullying and ganging up on everyone.
They were.
Until it was just those two with Raquel Rodriguez in the ring. And Raquel was able to outsmart both of them, eliminate both of them, and win it. But then all of a sudden the bell didn't ring, and we all thought that was kind of weird. And
Where's Chelsea Green?
Pops
Halfway
up, she's
through
been
the
hiding.
match, I was thinking, wait, where's Chelsea? And I said, you know what, dude? She's going to be under the ring. And sure as shit, she was. She comes out. I thought she was going to win. And Raquel just takes her to school and says, this is my return. I'm winning this match. I'm in the chamber, locked down.
Pop to Jey Uso backstage. He's pacing around. He's walking around backstage. He's preaching. He's talking crap on Gunther. He's pumping himself up. He's pretty much getting himself ready for the match, and he finishes with a yeet.
Yeet.
Now it's a promo with Rhea. Sit down with Nia. So you got Rhea sitting there with a sit down. You got Nia sitting there with a sit down.
Oh, yeah.
Rhea says she wants this. She wants to perform in her hometown. It's what she's been dreaming about.
It's been 7 years.
At one point, she wanted to give it all up.
Yeah, I'm glad she didn't.
Yeah, I had to
the
remind
whole world
herself
is, I'm sure.
exactly who she was, that she was different and not like everybody else. She is Rhea Bloody Ripley.
And she's coming for blood in Australia, folks. That's for sure.
And then Nia chimes in. She says, that's cute. Says she's twice her size and triple her talent. Trash talk back and forth between the two, back and forth. Rhea says Nia will be nothing when she loses this match. Nothing. And she will see her in Perth. Drops her headset down, walks off. Nia's just left looking at the camera with this piercing, crazy look in her eye. Just
super
panting.
intense, man.
So that's shaping up to be a crazy match.
Yep, and we don't have to wait long.
Then it cuts to our boy, R-Truth, with a promo. Funny promo, super serious for no reason.
Right.
It's more like Truth not knowing names, calling DIY DX, things like
just,
that.
normal R-Truth.
Yeah. Says he's going to show Judgment Day, what's up tonight?
What's up?
Yeah. And he leaves giving a heart to the camera. It's touching. It was a touching moment.
Live, laugh, love. The Judgment Day,
nice.
man.
It was more dramatics and dry humor from R-Truth, and I loved it.
We love it.
But then it directly cuts to a Chad Gable promo.
Ooh, the master.
Chad Gable wants to end the Viking Raiders. He's very pumped up about it. He's very very dead set on ending the Viking Raiders. Promo back and forth with Ivar pumping up the fight. It was like Ivar's promo came right after Chad Gable's.
Side back to back type thing. Yeah.
And Ivar accepts Gable's challenge in his promo, and they agree to fight. And
thank you.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. But then we have the 8-man tag team match. And that's, Awesome Truth with DIY.
Yeah, what a team,
going
too.
Against the Judgment Day. And McDonough and Miz started off. all 8 men jump into the ring and it's chaos.
Chaos.
But it's funny because
Right off the
DIY and Awesome Truth clears the ring and then they all line up and give a suck it.
Yeah, man. And then is it really DX out there? Like,
I don't know. I feel like they
our
should
Truth has summoned a new version of DX.
Yeah, it should happen. And why not? Why can't there be a new DX?
Absolutely.
Why not? You know, there could be some storyline behind it.
Yeah.
Where like X-Pac comes out and he's the manager or something. Who knows? That'd be great. They should do that. Like, it's way better than DIY. I've been telling you, Joe, this DIY thing ain't working.
I hear
for me.
you.
It's
I
not
am
believable.
right there with you.
It's cheesy. It's phony. I don't like it. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah,
But,
like I said before, they couldn't get over on their own, really. So they're trying to piece them together, you know, to try to get some kind of a run, some kind of reaction. And I still am not sold.
And it was Ciampa with like a big spot, clearinghouse
Guy
in the
can
ring.
wrestle. I'm not gonna
lie. He was
lie.
running full speed into the turnbuckle. People were just laying there getting ready for the nice clothesline, the turnbuckle, and he was just. It was crazy. It was like a train coming through that ring.
Yeah, man.
It was a big spot for him. It really was.
It was.
But then there was the moment of R-Truth and Priest coming face to face finally. And honestly, R-Truth dominates in the corner.
He did.
But Priest counters into another R-Truth counter. And then a scissors kick and a near fall on Priest, which was kind of cool to see.
Yeah,
because
man. Especially after the
R-Truth's a
beat
competitor,
down.
man. Like that's
He's
crazy.
been doing this for decades, man. This ain't nothing new for Ron Killings.
Then there's
AKA
another
R-Truth.
all-out brawl spot, and we have, you know, DIY and The Miz jumping out of the ring into JD, into Judgment Day. But then, you know, South of Heaven chokeslam.
Works every time.
And it was the 1, 2, 3 by Damian Priest, and Judgment Day actually got a clean win off this one.
Yeah, no outside interference, no dom-dom.
I think they needed that. They needed to give him a clean win. That South of Heaven chokeslam is great, but
It's brutal.
I prefer the Razor's Edge when he does that.
Man.
I feel like that's way more powerful, and they need to bring that move back. Like, just because Razor,
I want to see that all the time.
Scott Hall is actually not with us anymore doesn't mean his move can't live on through another wrestler. And I really love that, especially for those signature moves that are just next level. Like
it's like KO using the stunner. You know, it's like that. But I feel like it's even cooler because Scott is no longer here and he can't do the Razor's Edge anymore. So Damian Priest keep doing that Razor's Edge.
So it was sad to see Judgment Day get the win here, but, you know,
Sure
it is
was.
what it is. They cut to a Sami Zayn promo. Sami Zayn says he has to hit the pause button with Drew.
Yeah.
It's Drew. He's just basically backing down from it. Feels like he wants to avoid being fixated on Drew, wants to
got
evolve
other
and
goals,
move on, be the bigger man pretty much, you know? He's saying that he's going to find his road to WrestleMania and he will be a champion.
Yes.
So I'm very interested to see where this goes. We'll see. After this, it was Becky Lynch out to the ring. This is another promo. She talks about Chamber. She talks about how she needs to win to face Mommy at Mania.
She doesn't have a choice but to win. Absolutely.
Yeah, says they have to be. Basically says they've been dancing around each other for the last year. Says she is the biggest threat to Rhea and that she has been hiding in plain sight the whole time. She says she's the best she's ever been right now.
Never
She's
better.
So, I mean, I don't know about that. But that'd be awesome if she, you know, pulls out some crazy stuff in her next fights and shows that. But enter Liv Morgan.
Yep, it's not over,
she
folks.
She comes out to a good pop. Says she's not a fan of Becky, saying that she's the one who's facing Rhea at Mania.
Yeah.
Says that she was the very last person to defeat Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, and when you think about it, it's true. And I guess we all forgot that she was the last person to take Mommy out, but she did do it, and she's looking to do it again, guys.
That's crazy. So we have that going on. And then enter Raquel Rodriguez, fresh off her win earlier.
Yeah, in the Last Chance Battle Royal.
Yeah, she's saying that she's the biggest, and it will be her. Like, she's the biggest.
Yeah,
and it's her that will be the one that takes the Elimination Chamber. But, you know, obviously now enters Naomi. So obviously this is getting crazy.
Yep.
Now,
the whole match is coming out.
Naomi's
basically.
out. And, you know, she says she's there. She's back. And now she has a new purpose.
Yeah. She's rejuvenated and ready to go.
But then, rudely interrupting, is Tiffany Stratton, your favorite.
Tiffy time.
Says the future is her. And they're old news, old washed up, and they can't do anything because she's young and she knows she's got her pulse on the scene, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then the EST, Bianca, steps in and the rookie is confused. she says that she will pin them all, and you can't spell WrestleMania with the EST.
Without the EST.
Yeah. It's funny how Stratton looked so confused when Bianca came out like punky. You know
like,
what I mean?
excuse me? Like, this is my time. This is Tiffy time. It is not Bianca Belair time.
But then all of a sudden, enter Nia Jax. She cleans house and destroys everything. It's complete carnage.
Per usual. It's a car crash.
And just, takes out 3 at a time. Like, it's bad. Man. And you're starting to wonder, are they setting up for her to beat Rhea Ripley?
That's what I'm saying. You never know. It could be the biggest upset
happen?
we've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, Rhea's just guaranteed to win at this point, from everyone's point of view. She's guaranteed to win. And if Nia Jax can walk into Perth and walk out champion, I think we got to put a little bit more respect on her name, Mike.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see where this goes with these girls. You know what I mean? With the women's division. It's really shaping up to be the strongest it's ever been ever.
Dude,
so,
it's not even close. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's great. So next, we have your boy Gunther doing a promo.
Oh, man.
He's saying...
And he's ready to go,
Yeah,
too.
he's ready to go. He's saying tonight is the greatest night of Jay's life. But then he introduces himself as the longest reigning and greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
And it's all facts.
Yeah, and he says he's going to have to keep on dreaming that it's not going to happen and that he's going to get him tonight. So that's pretty cool. Gunther, playing his character very, very well.
Yeah, man, he's ready to defend that title with honor, and we're all with him, dude. The ring general.
Yep, cuts right to a Shinsuke Nakamura promo. He starts calling for Sami Zayn, basically making him out to be a baby, says he whines to get what he wants, and he doesn't fight.
Doesn't earn it, yeah.
He says Sami is an underdog, and he's going to keep him that way. He's going to expose Sami as a pretender anytime, anywhere. It fades out.
And if Sammy's looking for a road to WrestleMania, maybe it goes through Shinsuke Nakamura.
I'll take this Shinsuke Nakamura that you see every now and then.
Wrestlers.
And when he comes in, it's ominous like this. He's playing this dark character.
I like it better.
You don't get it all the time. It's not overdone. So I'll take this Shinsuke Nakamura we're getting right now.
For sure.
Very much. But now here we are. We get Ivar versus Chad Gable.
Oh, yeah.
This is the matchup that was set up earlier in the promos we were talking about. From the start, Gable attacks from the air to even things, kind of, because Ivar is obviously a little slower. So,
for sure.
Tries to come
He's got the size advantage, though.
But, Ivar powerbombs him into the barrier.
Yeah, that looked like it had to hurt, too.
Yeah, and it ends up being like a big matchup of like power versus quickness. There's lots of counters by Gable, but Ivar does his big sit down off the second rope. That's pretty
devastating.
Cool. Yeah, it is pretty devastating to have that guy
That guy is huge,
chest,
man.
You know what I'm saying? But, Chad Gable finally suplexes Ivar and follows it up with an ankle lock for the tap out.
Yeah.
So
that stalling German suplex where he just uses all of his brute
Gable's
strength.
getting wins, yeah.
He's stacking up wins, and he's
still,
he swore that he'd be the next Intercontinental Champion, and I'd like to see if he can maybe get another crack at the ring general.
He's showing he's the leader.
For sure. It's the master, Chad Gable. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's Drew McIntyre backstage. He's bragging. He's being this,
I beat Cody.
Drew McIntyre, braggy self these days.
You guys are welcome. Yeah. I wished for this and it happened.
He's bragging about Cody, saying he's the first to pin him since Mania. Since people are talking about him being a hypocrite with the bloodline because he kind of got help from them and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he didn't ask for it, and
He said he's staying focused. He's not worrying about it.
Yeah, he's looking to the chamber right now. Yeah, he's trying to get into that WrestleMania main event for the World Heavyweight Championship right now.
He mentions that he's the true workhorse of the WWE and the future world champion. So clearly going right for Seth Rollins.
Calling his shot.
Overlooking everything around him, that kind of stuff. But then we get backstage and it's the New Day.
New Day?
It's interesting. They're kind of getting worked into things a little bit. They're talking about Jey Uso winning the title, saying they're here for it. They're here to support it.
Yeah,
they're here to, see it happen.
It would be his first singles title. He's obviously a very decorated tag team champion, but has never had a singles run like this and, no singles titles yet. So can he take down the ring general?
Who knows? But, they're saying that they're coming for Imperium. They're not fans.
They're headhunting.
Yeah, they're coming straight for him. It's not over till they say it's over, they say. And next week, they're calling for a no-rules match with Imperium, a street fight.
Which will be sick. And
we are stoked
I'm excited for that.
I'm here for it. You're here for it.
We're all here for it, yeah.
So here we are, the main event. We've finally reached the main event of Raw.
It's the time we've all been waiting for, folks.
It's Gunther versus Jey Uso.
It's the Ring Halal.
I thought it was kind of weird. Gunther came out first.
You know why they did that? I'll explain that real quick. So in most title matches, especially main event title matches, if you notice, the announcer does not announce them out to the ring. So there's no set order. Once they get in the ring, then announcer then gets in the ring and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is for the Intercontinental Champion." Then they announce the challenger first, and the champion gets announced last. So that's why
they come out to a massive pop,
my God.
per usual.
Yep. Per usual. Pat McAfee, loving life.
Yep.
Wish he could stay on Raw forever, to be honest. But when football season comes back around, we're going to miss him.
We'll see what happens, for sure. But this match actually started off by Jay slapping Gunther in the face.
And
followed up by a big kick to the face.
Pretty sure
Gunther.
the ring general didn't like that.
No, big kick to the face from the ring general. He just starts off dominantly, as you would expect.
Yeah, the chops and, turn this guy's chest into mincemeat.
Exactly. They fight to the outside. He slams Jay on the barricade, just like the match before.
Yeah, that barricade's making some cameos.
Barricade's getting some work tonight.
Sure is. Yeah.
Gunther, big power bomb, Jay kick out.
Early, too.
Yeah. Gunther beats down Jay, squeezes his face. Jay battles back.
He's kind of he's treating him like a rag doll, but Jey Uso's holding his own in this match.
Gunther gets a top rope slam, Jay kick out. Like a jump, one of those jumps he does off the top rope.
Oh, yeah. Yes. That was the big splash.
Yeah. May I just add that there were a lot of big chops in this match.
Oh,
so
my God.
Big,
you could
big
hear
chops.
that for miles,
right?
too,
There were
man.
huge chops. It was great.
And Gunther don't hold back when he chops. It's not like a Ric Flair, quick knife edge chop. This is a slap,
Then it gets interesting. We're in the nitty gritty here. We're about to get real with you, okay?
Yeah.
Here we go. Jay spear, followed by spear on the apron.
There was multiple spears.
Then spear again on the floor.
Yeah.
Fourth spear in the ring. Top rope, Jey Uso splash after that.
Boom.
And he has the 1, 2, 3. You could have counted to 8 if you wanted to. But guess what?
At 2.
Jimmy Uso is ringing the bell. And I don't know, and I don't get why if somebody that is not supposed to be ringing the bell starts ringing the bell
why would
during
you
a
stop?
count, why is he stopping the count? Clearly, I don't understand why. I feel like if the NFL could throw a red flag and do a challenge, why can't we do it here? And why can't we bring that into the WWE and incorporate that in?
Right.
That's
maybe,
all I'm saying here.
The ref throws the flag. Adam Pearce comes out and he's like, you know what? Restart the match.
I guess that's kind of what makes a heel, though.
True.
And what makes us have those scenarios, so I get it. But you could have counted to 8. But Jimmy Uso starts ringing the bell ahead of the 3, and there is confusion.
Extreme confusion threw Jey Uso off of his game. And, obviously, this is not good right now for Jey Uso.
No. But Jey actually battles back and gets Jimmy.
He does. It's still
on
looking
a splash
close.
outside the ring, clears him. The distraction was too much, though. Gunther counters on the Uso splash for a quick pin, and Jimmy beats down Jey badly after the match.
Oh, my God. Yeah, he's ragdolling him. After Gunther did what he did, and that would have been enough, to be honest with you.
Stands above him, puts the finger up, and that's a wrap.
And he says that, you may be big, but I'm always the big brother. So remember that. And that's going to be the end of our Monday Night Raw segment. We now are going to transition over to NXT 2024. Mike, why don't you talk to him?
It was stacked. It was probably one of the most, I keep saying this every week,
but it's true.
The most stacked NXT we've had in a long time. And it opens up with Lexis King versus Obafemi.
Yeah, man, and this is a big one. It's big because it's for the North American title. Lexis King, brand new to the NXT brand, has a chance to walk away with some hardware right now.
It is a back and forth match, but Oba was dominating at times. Kind of how it felt, Mm-hmm. But Lexis was doing his outsmarting. He's outside the ring.
Yeah, his ring IQ is up there.
Yeah. Oba counters, every push he has, really. Every push that Lexis King starts to have.
He studied him pretty good, I guess. He was ready.
At the end, Lexis King seems to have control of the match, but Mr. Stone comes out all pissed off from, the week before or whatever, when he said that he could, if his kids wanted to really see a hero or whatever, they would come check out his match.
Exactly. So, that heel Lexis stuff.
Mr. Stone's all fired up, but Lexis King dives out of the ring and pushes Mr. Stone down and goes back in the ring, and Obafemi just tears him up after that, literally tossing him all over the ring.
It was bad.
Does a toss-up powerbomb that gets the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so he's not ready to win gold yet, but he did, he did have a decent outing. We'll see if maybe there's a rematch.
Yeah, I don't see how Obafemi gets the title over him, but whatever.
Yeah,
I don't really know much about Obafemi's background, but I know he's getting a massive push.
Yeah.
And he's taking advantage of it. I think he's doing a good job. So
yeah, man, he's seizing the moment 100%.
Yeah. Backstage, we have members of Chase U, Thea Hale, and JC Jane. And they are talking about Thea Hale's date with Riley Osborne. Saying she wouldn't let him hold doors for her. And she was being super awkward about her responses. And then, boom, Ariana Grace comes in, Miss America, pretty much,
Oh, yeah.
And she says that Thea should always enter when a date holds the door. Questions if JC Jane is really Thea's real best friend, and JC snaps. Snaps back, threatens her, and fades out to, Ariana just standing there looking all confused.
Yeah, she's like, dude, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Backstage with Lyra Valkyria. She is backstage with Tatum Paxley, who's like her big fan or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Paxley is thanking her for being ringside for her, but Lyra, you could tell that she wasn't really, ringside for her. She more was fixated on her opponent Lola, who, turned in her contract to face her with Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, she was out there for herself, basically,
She tells her that she needs to stop trying to be a hero, and then she proposes that Tatum does not come out ringside for her or help her or anything like that.
Yeah, she wants to do this by herself.
Favor. And the favor is that she's staying away from ringside during her match.
As she should. And
Tatum says, okay. And they make that agreement right there.
How could you argue with that? You want to do it, you got to do it by yourself. Get the job done.
I love that attitude. The Wolf Dogs are up next.
Wolf Dogs?
And they're just coming out to the ring. They got their trophy out. They're having a fun time. They're doing great.
They're loving life.
Love the energy from them. I really do. It's amazing that they come into this. And just remember, as they're coming in, it really seems like they're unstoppable. Who's going to take down this team?
I know.
Who's going to be the ones that are going to actually beat them for the titles? It's crazy. They took out the family like nothing.
Yeah,
and they were the best unstoppable team before them. So, they make fun of each other like they have been doing in promos. Baron jokes about how he beat Braun in a match. Yeah. And Braun jokes that he's been carrying the team. So Braun proposes their new move be the Spear of Days, and the crowd gets really behind it, starts chanting Spear of Days.
Spear of Days.
But enters Chase U, Andre Chase, and Duke Hudson. They say Chase U is 100% again, and it's Chase U time to shine. They say that they had a title shot promised to them from the family, and they are owed it, and they are cashing in. They promise to serve up an ass whooping to them.
Ooh.
Enter Axiom and Nathan Frazier. They say, no, just a minute. It's null and void because the family aren't the champs anymore, and they deserve the shot because of how well they did in the Dusty Cup. They really brought it to Braun.
Yeah,
and
they think they're up in there. They're up there in the ranks.
Shot, yeah. But Braun and Baron basically say, "Fuck all of them."
Yeah, for sure, dude.
And then we're not gonna do any of this. Like we don't
Wolf
have to.
Dogs?
We don't have to. Cater to you guys. But then Ava comes out. And she's obviously going to come
she's
say
in
how
GM
it is,
mode,
right?
too.
And she says it's her choice what happens next and calls out for the number one contender match tonight between Axiom and Nathan Frazier and Chase U.
Scores will be settled, and we'll have a number one contender crowned.
But then we have Roxanne Perez versus Ren Sinclair. And, this wasn't really much to write home about. It was a back and forth fight. In and out of the ring. But at the end of the day, it was another Pop Rocks kick out into a crossface for the tap out. So she hits the Pop Rocks.
Yeah.
Pop Rocks. Ren Sinclair actually kicks out from it, but then she puts it right in for the crossface, and that makes her tap.
And that crossface is just such a devastating submission. Whenever it's used, I'm always in awe because when you really pull back on that, it looks painful.
It really does. I feel like I would not be comfortable in that one, that's for
Definitely
sure.
not.
Yeah. Now we have a promo with Metaphor backstage. Drew Gulak and crew rules up talking smack. They want the cup. Dar wants to know who he's fighting. They say he won't know until they all get into the ring. So we're going to see who is fighting him next week when they all get into the ring, which is kind of weird. But
Yeah, we don't even know what's going on.
We'll see what's going on. But then we have the brothers fighting next. Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs, big fight. Back and forth to start. Josh Briggs takes control, trading big boots. That was kind of awesome. They were like trading big boots at one point.
Just eating them.
They got "This is awesome" from the crowd at one point in this match.
The sign of approval, you know?
Um,
Put their stamp on it.
Yeah, Briggs was dominating, but the last spurt of energy for Jensen, 2 lariats, and Briggs gets the 1, 2, 3.
Boom.
Next up, we have a Joe Gacy promo with Dijak.
This crazy guy, man.
Yeah. Joe is in a straitjacket, shoots the Dijak.
As he
puts
should
a
be.
gun down on the table. Dijak seems super serious. He seems to be holding him prisoner. Crucifino comes up, says what he's doing is illegal. And Dijak says he's violated his laws. But Crucifino says it doesn't work that way in this world. Like, you can't just hold somebody hostage. And it fades to Joe Gacy's face pressed against the glass, and he's just laughing. And he
think he
seems
cares about the
unfazed.
law? Do you think he cares about the law?
Unfazed by the whole thing. It's pretty good. But then Carmelo promo after this. Carmelo was talking about Trick,
Heel Mello.
Trick Mello gang and how good the memories were and how great the moments were, but they were only good because he was his sidekick.
Right,
that's
and now
how it
it's
works,
over.
You know what I mean? He said he's all alone now, but he's not lonely. Goes on to talk about how Trick was always supposed to be number 2 and how he had to get Trick before Trick got him. And that's just how it is. And
Yeah,
that was
man.
it. That was the promo. Next up, we had Ariana Grace versus JC Jane from that little promo backstage where they had that little exchange.
They're fired up.
Because Ariana Grace said that JC Jane wasn't, Thea Hale's true number 1 friend.
Yeah.
JC Jane comes down with Thea Hale and Jasmine Nix, which seems to be like her new best friendish type thing.
Oh,
Thea
yeah,
Hale
for
seems
sure.
kind of, annoyed by it. But, each wrestler has their moments in this match. But Jasmine Nix hits Ariana when the ref isn't looking. And that just
Naturally.
sets up JC Jane for a spinning punch for the 1, 2, 3. After JC Jane favors Jasmine, and it's awkward because Thea Hale feels very left out, and it's very awkward for her. And you can tell there's something up. There's some kind of split going on there.
What's going on?
We're about to see some drama. Speaking of drama, we now have a promo with the family. The Don calls for a meeting. They all sit down. He has his espresso he's sipping. It's pretty funny. The Don says he wants to take the family in a new direction. It's very important. He says, for now on, there'll be no community votes. It's his way or the highway.
And you got to listen, right?
That he is the true Don of NXT, and he's going to be ruthless, and he's going to leave his mark, which is pretty damn cool.
Oh, yeah.
But after that, we had a sit down with Ridge Holland. He's got a nice little sit down going on for himself where it seems like they're framing it like Ridge has a problem, right? Ridge
Yes,
lost
and
his
he
temper.
can't figure out what's wrong with him.
Yeah, Ridge seems to be justified, asking why it's okay that they ganged up on him and put a chair to his leg. I thought he was going to be all remorseful and they were going to play up on that, but he seemed like he was like, he says next week he will address the future. And he will address the universe, and that the man with the chair is not the man he is in everyday life, and there are reasons for what he did, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, which will later be explained, I guess. We'll have to wait and see
what happens with that, right? Next, we have that big number 1 contenders match for the tag team NXT titles. That's Duke Hudson and Andre Chase of Chase University.
Big one, Chase
Axiom and Nathan Frazier. And when this one sets off, we have Andre Chase with an arm submission to Axiom, which he really had him going for a little bit. But this was eventually reversed into a submission for Axiom, and back and forth we go. Duke Hudson ends up clearing out the ring. I'm going for a pin off a big boot, but kick out on that one. Axiom gets Hudson up on the top rope in the corner and does a Spanish fly off the top rope, which is really, really cool to see.
Move.
But Hudson kicks out. Andrew Chase steals the victory on a quick pin. It was a very quick pin kind of thing. But at the end of the match, nothing else mattered because the OC came out and just cleared house, beat everybody to oblivion, and really just left their mark. They looked big and strong and pumped up. It was awesome.
Yeah, and maybe they need this NXT run right now to rejuvenate, you know?
Now we cut to a Ilya Dragunov promo. He says Carmelo is a coward for attacking everyone from behind always.
Man, strong words.
He's just a rodent. He says that he has what Carmelo seeks, obviously the title, right?
Yeah,
and will fight him, but needs to show up next week and meet him face to face. He said he's coming for his soul.
We're going to have that moment. We're going to have that face-to-face moment. Mello and Trick. Whoop that Trick. Mello is money. Who do you got?
Can't wait.
Right?
Who do I got?
Yeah, who do you got, man?
I mean, I think that Ilya takes it. I think Melo's day as champion has ended, but maybe they want him to have a heel run, so maybe he grabs it. So I'm undecided.
Okay.
Next up, Metaphor comes out from backstage, and Last Legend has a match. And she's accompanied by Jakara Jackson, of course. But then it cuts to a promo backstage. It's Thea Hale. She's bummed out. Because obviously she's not getting the attention from JC Jane that she used to, and their friendship is dwindling.
I can see why she'd be upset about that.
Yep, she's confiding in Fallon Henley, and Fallon Henley's there for her. Thea Hale does her usual venting, talking very fast, being too much, saying too much kind of self. They end up connecting, and Fallon Henley asks if they want to go on a walk, and they go on a walk, and it seems they're forming a friendship. Not sure where that will go. Kind of interesting, but then we go to that match where we just saw Last Legend come out. Kalani Jordan comes out second. It's Last Legend versus Kalani Jordan. Last Legend starts off showing off her power because she is so big and strong. She truly is. And you have Kalani Jordan showcasing her quickness at times as well. Last Legend begins to dominate the match, like literally dominate it. And then interference from Jakara Jackson, which sets up a big, huge choke slam up the top rope from Last Legend for the 1, 2, 3. Last Legend gets the victory. And they leave Kalani Jordan in the ring, to which out comes Kiana James and Izzy to beat up Kalani even further. But Kalani actually reverses and gets out of the way and escapes, which is pretty cool. And that rivalry continues. From there, it's the OC backstage. The OC. And they state they are back in NXT, so it's official. They are back.
The Good Brothers.
And they actually state that they're here for a while. They said they're coming for the tag team division. And they are talking about Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin and saying they're pretty much nothing, talking trash about Big Papa Pump as well.
Yeah,
so
that's going to strike a chord with Braun Breaker.
Interested to see what happens with that one.
Uncle Papa.
Next up, we have Shotzi versus Lyra Valkyria, which is something we've been waiting for a couple weeks now.
It was delayed last time,
or whatever it's been. But, this match was cool. Lots of grappling to start the match and reversing back and forth with grapples and reverses. Shotzi barks, but then Lyra barks, mocking her back. Shotzi has a botched DDT out of the ring, and it looks like when she had the botched DDT out of the ring, she actually injures herself on the botched spot. Ava comes out and says Shotzi can't perform anymore, and Ava says it's an open challenge, and out comes Last Legend, who I like that Last Legend is getting a lot of looks. She's big. She's strong. I don't know if she's going to fight, but she is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And I think she could have a good future once she separates from Metaphor and does her own thing and creates an identity. I really do think that she could be one of those future women's superstars for NXT and WWE as well.
Yeah, for sure. Having her in that group right now is good for her, but you can tell that when she's when it's time for her to branch out, watch out, folks.
Watch out now. So now we have Last Legend versus Lyra Valkyria for the Women's NXT Championship. Last Legend starts off dominating the match, actually. And it's funny because she actually came off a win earlier in the episode. She's already been through a match, and she was really looking good either way. She was getting pins and holding submissions. Last Legend continues beating including a massive lariat she gives her as well. She gave her I guess she calls it the slam dunk choke slam, which I really like that. It's kind of her own version of the choke slam. But she gives her the slam dunk choke slam, but Lyra kicks out. Big pump kick. Lyra kicks out again. Lyra knocked Lash Legend off the top rope. Does a body slash off the top rope herself. It wasn't anything fantastic, really. It was just a body splash off the top rope. I thought it was kind of uneventful. She got the 1, 2, 3. And then NXT fades off to black, and we are on to Dynamite.
And that's going to conclude the NXT portion of the show. We are now going to switch gears and move on to AEW Dynamite 2/21/2024. I am Joe, and I'm going to take you through Dynamite exclusively. Match number 1 of the night. It's the BCC, the Blackpool Combat Club versus FTR, Dax Hardwood, Cash Wheeler. Let's go. We're going to start off Dynamite with a banger tag team match, a dream match, basically. A match that we've been waiting for, and here we go. The wait is over. Moxley and Claudio, obviously, they know a lot about tag team wrestling. FTR, they're the top guys. They know a lot about tag team wrestling. So we're going to see what that looks like in the middle of the ring, and it's looking like chaos. Both teams are really pulling out all the stops, doing everything they can to get the victory. We had some double teaming on Moxley. It's just, FTR really, really blends well in the ring, and they know when to tag in and out. And at one point, we had a double sharpshooter going on. Like, this match was really, really cool, guys. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you go back to Dynamite and check it out. Then we had FTR. They're getting set up. They're setting up for the Shatter Machine. We have the attempt, and the bell rings. Once again, we have a time limit draw. We have reached the time limit. The match is over. Everyone's booing. They want more. Fight forever chance. Everything. We don't get it. The match is over, guys. And it looked like FTR was 3 seconds away from a Shatter Machine victory. So obviously, everybody's upset after this. We wanted a clear winner. 2 of the best teams that we've seen. We did not get a clear winner, so they decide they're going to keep fighting. We got to get this broken up because we got a show to have. They move backstage now to freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, who is just on a run right now. He's absolutely killing it. He's going from territory to territory, company to company, just like how is he medically cleared to compete tonight is what they're getting at. And the doctor comes out. He's letting you guys know that he is cleared to go. He's not hurt enough to not wrestle is what he's getting at. So Orange Cassidy is ready to go, about to have another banger match. But before that, we cut backstage and it's FTR again, getting interviewed, saying, looks like you guys pretty much had that match won. You guys were hitting the Shatter Machine. Moxley wasn't going to get up from that, and they're agreeing. They're saying they're the top guys. In come BCC, not liking what they have to say. We get another scuffle, and as it's broken up, we hear chatter of, well, you guys don't have a match at Revolution. Neither do we. So why don't we finish this at Revolution, which I think is a great idea. The pay-per-view is right around the corner. These 2 teams will go hard for the pay-per-view. Next up, from wherever, weighing whatever, it's freshly squeezed. It's Orange Cassidy. Massive pop. The crowd's loving him, and how could you not? Like I just said, the run that he's been on has been absolutely incredible. This championship run, he is not taking a moment for granted. So it's Orange Cassidy versus Mike Bennett. He's coming out with Matt Taven, who just went against Orange Cassidy in this Texas Death Match, and basically softened them up from Mike. And Bennett's coming out. He's making his entrance. He's taunting. And Orange just says, forget this. He runs out of the ring. He runs up the ramp and just lays into Mike Bennett. And, the match begins before it even officially starts on the ramp. We have some brawling going on. Big DDT. Roderick Strong then comes out, and he's distracting the ref. Bennett hits Cassidy, where the sun don't shine. And hits him with a big pile driver. Only for 2, though. He manages to kick it, too. We had some fighting outside the ring. Orange Cassidy sending Bennett into the steel steps. And it's looking close. Bennett hits a DVD, Death Valley driver, onto the floor. Looks rough. Cassidy then hits that orange punch out of nowhere. To no avail, though. He ends up getting hit with another pile driver, a spike pile driver. And these moves, I can see why they're banned in WWE. They can easily end someone's career. Luckily, though, the spot went perfectly. Orange Cassidy then hits the beach break out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, Orange Cassidy. And I guess he's salty, Matt Taven. After the match, Matt Taven then attacks Orange Cassidy. Roderick Strong joins in. They're double teaming him. He just had a match. He won. He did it the right way, and he's getting brutally beat down. And what happens next? We get Jake Hager comes out of nowhere. We haven't seen him for a few weeks on Dynamite. At least we have not seen Jake Hager. He comes out. He helps Orange Cassidy, gets these guys off of him, and the crowd's happy to see him. This whole Jericho Appreciation Society gimmick for him, I guess, is over. He came out looking different, didn't have the hat, the bucket hat. So we'll see what kind of direction it ends up going for Jake Hager. We cut backstage to Angelo Parker and Ruby Soho. They're meeting up for their date that they agreed on, and a car rolls up. Just so happens that in this car, it wasn't for them. In this car, it's the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, and he's kind of going on a rant about how he's disappointed, with Sting's last match coming up, that he's not more involved, and it's kind of confusing to me. Rick, we haven't seen you in a little bit. We were wondering where you were, and now you come back saying you're disappointed. I don't know what the angle is, but we'll let it right out. Will he get involved in Sting's final match coming up at Revolution? Now we're in the ring, and it's Tony Schiavone. He calls out Daniel Garcia. All right, people are dancing. They're doing that Daniel Garcia dance, and they're excited to see him. Schiavone then mentions Edge is not clear to compete. He's out of action. Though everyone's bummed about that, it kind of brings up an opportunity, rather, for Daniel Garcia, because he's now notified by Schiavone in front of all the fans that he is going against Captain Charisma himself, Christian, for the TNT title. And Garcia's reacting to this. He's very, very humbled. He's thanking the fans, thanking everybody for their support and love right now. But he's also saying that he would have tapped Adam Copeland right out if he was cleared to compete. And he's also saying he's going to defeat Christian Cage. And when he sees Adam Copeland again, he's going to have that TNT title around his waist. Yeah. Out comes, you guessed it, Christian Cage and the Patriarchy. He's telling Daniel Garcia that his dancing is stupid, it's a distraction. And then he starts cutting real deep. He starts speaking about Daniel Garcia's father, who has since passed away. Saying that he had an alcohol addiction. This is all stuff that I didn't know. Please feel free to chime in, guys, if you know all this. Christian's digging deep like he does. If something happened to your dad, Christian Cage is going to know about it. And he goes on saying that, Garcia is not ready, that this match shouldn't take place at Revolution, and that Christian basically wants to be Daniel Garcia's father. He wants to father him, he's saying. And it's like the ultimate form of disrespect, if you ask me. So, Daniel Garcia, can he do it? Can he beat Christian Cage for this illustrious TNT title that he can't seem to get rid of? So after that, Garcia is obviously visually upset after everything Cage just said. So he's threatening him to put him in the ground. Nick Wayne comes down. Kill Switch comes down. And Matt Maynard just attacks him. And they continue to stand tall as Cage and the Patriarchy make their exit. Now we pan to the backstage interview. We got Hangman Adam Page, Hook, and RVD himself, Rob Van Dam, previewing the main event for this episode of Dynamite. And Page is getting really, really upset. And he's making it clear that he's going to get Swerve. And he's going to really, really hurt him. There's nothing that he wants to do more than to hurt Swerve Strickland. Next match of the night, we have Sydney Winnell versus Timeless Toni Storm, our AEW World Women's Champion, who is absolutely crushing it right now, guys. She really is. Kind of thankful that NXT and WWE let her go, because look what she's doing right now, and Tony Khan is laughing all the way to the bank. It's Timeless Toni Storm. This wasn't even close. Tony just takes over immediately, and about a minute or so in, she just goes for that ankle lock, the break a leg, she calls it. And it's just an instant moment of panic for Winnell, knowing she's already locked in basically the champion's finishing move. But Toni Storm wants to go a little bit further. She wants to throw some salt in the wound, throw some shade at Deonna Purrazzo, and locks in the Venus de Milo, Deonna's own finishing submission, to tap this girl out. And the match is over, and your winner, Timeless Toni Storm. And as Toni is celebrating, with Luther and everything, and they're on their way to the back, out comes Deonna Purrazzo. She's got a matchup next. She comes out, she cuts Toni's celebration short, and they kind of have a really cool stare down on the ramp where Toni Storm is in black and white, but Deonna's in color, and they're both in the same frame. It's like really, really cool. The production was really nice. Shout out to the production crew for getting that done. That brings us to Deonna Purrazzo versus Madison Rayne, and honestly, guys, what a match this was. Not a match that I was really pumped about seeing on the card, but they did deliver. It's obvious that Deonna is working really hard to try to get on that main event level, and I'm not a big fan, but I do respect what she's doing right now, going after Timeless Toni Storm, even though Storm's, she's leagues above her, and she's going to retain the title against her. But this match was good. You can see that Madison Rayne still got it, looking really, really impressive out there. And Deonna Purrazzo now one-ups Toni Storm and throws Madison Rayne in the break-a-leg submission, her own ankle lock finisher, to end the match. And here comes Toni Storm. She's running down, and Deonna hits her with a kick. Mariah May is now distracting Deonna Purrazzo, take her attention off of Toni and put it on her. And Storm basically takes advantage of that, attacks her, and puts her in the break-a-leg submission, the ankle lock from Toni Storm. After this, we are greeted with a promo. It's Darby Allin. He's cutting a promo on the Young Bucks. He's addressing everything that they've done and how they've really, really hurt Sting, and that they were going through some pictures that night, and Darby Allin pulls up some photos, and it's Sting in his Wolfpack days with his sons, his boys. He's got his boys with him, and Sting then walks in, enters the scene, and says he's been going through, a hard time lately. Family is the most important thing to him, and he just lost his dad, and he's kind of, at a loss for words. And it really hit me because as someone who lost theirs, someone who lost their father, it's never an easy thing, no matter how early or late in life it is. It's a very tough thing. My heart is with you, Steve Borden, Sting, and the whole family. But as Sting goes on, he's now flipping the script and trying to get you pumped up. He's letting everybody know that time doesn't wait for anybody. Time catches up with everybody, and he admits that it's caught up to him. He also says that everything he has left, he's giving it at Revolution. This is his final match. Who knows what kind of spots we're going to see from Sting in this match. If he's going out, he's definitely going out with a bang, do I say. Then we get Wardlow, unannounced, I guess. He comes out to the ring. He's looking angry. He grabs a microphone and he's cutting a promo. He's like, I'm tired of this. People used to be chanting my name wherever I go. And now, basically he's not getting that reaction anymore. He's still that monster. He's really, really cutting some kind of promo right now. He's fired up about his position in the company, and it shows. He then goes on to say that, he beat CM Punk so bad that his body's still breaking down from it. A jab at Punk being injured, right after his WWE return. Wardlow's not playing around right now. That's what we're getting at. And he's taking shots at guys like Samoa Joe, CM Punk once again. And then he's saying not only is he the best in the world, he's better than you, and you know it. I believe, I might be wrong, I believe that's somebody else's catchphrase. That's an MJF catchphrase. So a dig at the great MJF. Does MJF return and respond to this? He has history with Wardlow. Could we be going in that direction now? We cut backstage, and it's the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. They are celebrating their Rampage win, which is well-deserved. It was a pretty awesome match, not going to lie. But tension is rising between the two teams. Jay White is pitching a match now where himself, Colton, and Billy Gunn, Daddy Ass himself, team up on Collision, which would be cool. And then you got Anthony Bowen saying the Bang Bang Scissor Gang rules the world, and everyone loves the Acclaimed. Now they're plugging Will Ospreay next week on Dynamite, and he's finally finished up with his UK run. So get ready, AEW, because Will Ospreay's coming, and we've never seen anything like. Backstage, we got this douchebag Don Callis, who's hyping up his family, the Don Callis family. He's talking down on Sammy Guevara. You know, what he does about everybody. And it's time to move on to the main event match of the evening. It's Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, and Brian Cage versus Hangman Adam Page, Hook, and Rob Van Dam in a trios main event match. Let's get it. And we had some unlikely teams in this match. You know, partners being Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe. How are they going to coexist? And how is Hangman gonna coexist with with Hook and all these other guys? And it's kind of confusing, but it makes for an entertaining match. We saw both teams going at it. We saw RVD looking good. Hook came out suplexing and everything. RVD hits the 5-star frog splash on Cage, but we do have a breakup of that pinfall, which could have been close. That move has taken out a lot of greats, and now Hook is locking in the red rum, and it looks like it could be over. Very devastating submission there, but Swerve, our guy Swerve, it's Swerve's house. He breaks that up. Page ends up hitting Brian Cage with the buckshot, the big lariat. Joe, Page, and Swerve stare each other down. Joe's sending Page to the outside now and dives right onto him. Swerve Strickland then accidentally kicks Samoa Joe. And that's what I was talking about with the uncertainty of these teams. Like I said, it's just, who can you trust? Hangman then grabs Swerve and slams him directly through the announce table. Not looking good if you're Swerve right now. Then we got Hangman. He gets out of the muscle buster from Joe, because that would have been a sure defeat. Hook then suplexes Samoa Joe. Cage is grabbing RVD off the top. He's just shoving him down. Joe grabs RVD, locks in that coquina clutch, and unfortunately, it's lights out for Rob Van Dam. He does not tap out. He does pass out. He just goes to sleep. Joe wins it for his team, and Joe is celebrating the win. It was a hard-fought victory, and Swerve is just looking on, staring him down, as if to say, I am ready for you at Revolution. That's going to be the end of this show. Thank you guys so much once again for tuning in. We're 9 episodes in. We can't wait to keep it going. Once again, you are listening to The Source, WWE AEW All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
and Mike.
Yeah. And now to end the show, we're going to go old school on, once again, another portion of On This Day in Wrestling History.
On this day in wrestling history, the WWE Network was born. 10 years ago to this day, the WWE Network was conceived, which honestly is about to be dissolved.
Yeah, it's basically done in the U.S. It's still around a couple of other regions of the world, and it's on its way out. We now have Peacock, and it's going to Netflix. So that was 2014 when the network was born. And
solid
on this
10-year run.
On this day, now to finish, on this day in 1997, on this day in wrestling history, WWE taped a full episode of Monday Night Raw at the famous Manhattan Center for the final time. It was pretty amazing to see this is their last time doing it. They did a lot of classic episodes in that Manhattan Center, the very early days of Monday Night Raw, but they were moving on to bigger and better things, getting TV deals and, You know, we all miss the old school look of Monday Night Raw, but look where it's come today. That's going to do it for this episode. We are going to wrap it up and say thank you guys for listening. Make sure you follow the show, rate the show. It really helps the show a lot. We are available on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Instagram, and TikTok. This is The Source, WWE AEW All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
and
Mike.
yeah.
Yeah, let us talk to you.